Hello and welcome to this week's Coaching for Self-Belief podcast with Andy and Pete. Pete, what have you got for us this week?
Well, a little story around expectations, that expectations can be a problem, and that players can come into a match or a coaching session thinking things are going to go really well, and then the first thing that doesn't go quite according to how they see it, they start to go down the spiral of interference. And I was coaching a performance player just recently, and we did some powerful visualization work preparing for a performance that she was going to do on court, preparing for a match, if you like. And straight after we did that work, and she had these wonderful pictures going through her head of everything going well, and we'd also imagined things not going quite so well, but how she would deal with it. But she'd come out of that with some expectations. So we hopped on court for a quick warm down, and she started off playing pretty well, but then could see something was getting in the way. She had some mental interference and started hitting quite a lot of errors. So we came to the net, and I just said, well, what have you noticed about what's happening? And she said, I'm not sure. I think I was expecting it to be better because of the powerful visualizations that we'd done. And
Wait, what was it she was expecting to be better?
she was expecting to play well straight away, to play how she'd seen herself in the visualization. And the first time that she hit a ball and it didn't quite do that, what she hadn't realized was that had created the spiral of interference, and she started to go downhill, thinking, what's going wrong? So then it got worse. But what was great was that she realized that the expectations were simply a mental interference that she could let go of, and then if she could find something useful to focus on, that was the solution. So we hopped back on court, and she remembered to just keep something simple to focus on, and then her onboard computer made good use of the imagery work that she'd done, and she started to play really well. So we fixed it.
Right. What was the focus, just out of interest?
Oh, she likes to focus on breathing and having a clear picture of the shot she's about to hit. She can get quite deep into focus with just those simple things, particularly the picture, actually. Having a very clear picture of the shot she wants to hit as the ball's coming towards her.
And you said she can get quite deep into her focus as well.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was interested in as you were talking is, how do we help people manage their expectations, particularly when they come to a session and they're probably outside of their skill level. And I think when we're away from the tennis court, we've got loads of time to think about things, and it's probably human nature that we expect more than what we're capable of. And I'm sure there's some research to back that up. But so we come on court and we think, oh, I could do 24 hands. And I'll often say to somebody, if I've only seen them hit 6 forehands, what would you be comfortable with if you couldn't do 20? Because I think we've only managed 6 so far. And it just makes them just wonder for a moment, and they'll go, oh, maybe 8. And they'll go, great, let's have a go. And also, I think sharing my own knowledge, I say that, look, I'm guilty of this as well. I think I can hit more shots than I can sometimes, and I play with people when I'm training. So I'm sure we're just inbuilt to think we can do more than we can.
I think it's quite common, isn't it? It's maybe not for everybody, but it certainly does happen a lot. So
maybe it's
managing those expectations. It's simple goal setting in a way. What before you start an exercise, what do you think would be realistic, and then you find out what their expectations are. And that's sort of on a conscious level, isn't it? But then there's an unconscious level as well, where people maybe are not so aware of it, but they're imagining or they're hoping that they'll play as well as they think they can.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes you see that with players that have had a break. That, you know, maybe they've gone on holiday or they've had an injury, and then they come back, and the first time they step on court, they play superbly because there's no expectations.
There's no expectations. There's probably a desire to play the game. They've been away from it for a few weeks, and so therefore this full focus on what they're doing. You know,
Yeah,
because they
and
picked up the racket.
that attitude of walking on court and just well, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
It's a very definite mindset that helps focus and helps relaxed focus. So it's to help players realize that this can happen as well, so that they're aware of expectations as a problem. And then there's the idea that you know, this quite often happens, doesn't it? People will have that initial rush of no expectations where they'll play well, and then, you know, the next time they come and play, they have expectations because it went well last time, and some part of them then is in a different mode. They're trying to recapture that good play that they had in the last session, but of course, trying to recapture is a different mindset. And
you mentioned it a little while ago, but the bridge to all of this is to choose a focus and
that's
to
the
trust in
solution.
that focus.
Yeah.
And when you said that girl had a deep level of focus in her breathing, um, what was the other thing? Her breathing
and having a clear picture of the shot that she wanted to hit.
Yeah. And so for me, the bridge for all of this seems to be our ability to focus, because we can come on court and be all excited. Oh, I played so well. I'm going to play well this week. But what do I need to focus on to get there?
And it's to realize that when that thought comes up, when that thought arises, that actually it might not be a useful thought.
No.
It might be simply mental interference. And then to look at it that way, and that's what helped the player I was working with, was she realized it was simply an interfering thought. And that helped her to be able to let it go and then choose something to focus on. So the step one, as a wrap up, you know, coaches is to have the awareness, help players to be aware that expectations can be a problem. And step two is, once you've realized that it's on the dashboard, and if you see expectations arising and it's a mental interference, then the solution is to choose something to focus on, so that then the focus helps the interference to just melt away into the background.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the more they repeat that, the more awareness they've got around the mental interference of expectations, too high expectations. Yeah. Brilliant. That's a good wrap up, Pete.
Very good. So we hope you have some fun playing around with that and helping your players to have expectations on their dashboard a little bit more. Awareness is curative.
Fantastic. Yeah, enjoy your coaching sessions, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.